Welcome and happy October. It is officially spooky month, although for me it is spooky time all the time. Let's go ahead and get cozy and talk about some Ouija stories. Have you ever played the Ouija? Do you want to play with me? Let's start off with the first story. Headphones on. Just sit back, relax, and listen. What's that sound? Did you fart? No, I'm just kidding. Anyway, okay, now back to spooky. Let's get scary. After my dad's first divorce, he had a Ouija board and it really scared his second wife. My mom is his third wife. They were moving and dad's plan was to leave it in a locked cabinet above the kitchen sink. You had to climb onto a ladder to get to this cabinet. Before they left the house, the last thing my dad did was climb on the ladder and put the Ouija board in the cabinet and lock it. He locked the house and drove away, thinking he would never see the board again. The house they were moving to wasn't too far away, and he and his second wife unlocked the door to their new home, and sitting on the floor right in the middle of the living room was the Ouija board. Needless to say, his second wife wanted the board gone immediately, and she was even more afraid of it now than she had been. Dad said he gave it away after this happened, but my stepsister always recalls my stepbrother and his friends playing with that same Ouija board years later. If Dad gave it away, it must have returned again. Dad always told all four of us kids to never play with Ouija boards. I think his experience really bothered him. What do you guys think? Did someone maybe prank him and take this Ouija board to the new home? Or did this Ouija board somehow find its way back to him over and over again? This story took place in Sacramento, California. I was around 16 to 17 years old. I was really into playing the Ouija board. I got so addicted to it that I would even dream of playing it alone. One night, I was at my friend's house playing with the Ouija board. By the time I got done playing it with my friend, I realized it was close to midnight. I said my goodbyes and was on my way out the door. She lived about a half a mile from my house. I was taking a shortcut through a vacant lot, carrying the Ouija board on my right side arm. I may have walked for about 5 minutes when I noticed a black lab walking right beside me. It was probably a foot away. I kept telling it, "Shoo, go away," but it wouldn't leave. So I decided to walk a little faster. This black lab walked with me all the way home. By the time I got to my door, I turned around and it was gone. I looked on the sidewalk to my left, then my right, but there was nothing there. I decided to leave my Ouija board outside that night on my front porch. I was a little freaked out. I don't blame you. Now the person who shared this story asks at the end, could this have been a guardian walking her home, or could it have been something else? I love dogs so much that I would literally have a new dog. Even if it was like a hellhound, I'd just be like, shh, come here, boy. What do you guys think of this one? Could it just be a coincidence and she just ran into, a stray dog? Or could this have been some sort of guardian walking her home to make sure she was safe? Or was it something that came through the Ouija board and had now followed her home? I got one more story for you guys. Uno más. Everything started 1 year ago. Since then, strange things have happened in our house a lot of the time, and it's getting weirder and weirder. Neither my sister nor I can explain what's going on, but let's start from the beginning. Around 5 years ago, my family moved into a big old house on top of a hill with a nice neighborhood, but a bit outside of town. We had a great time there. Lots of good memories. I think it was around a year ago when my little sister had one of her friends over for the night, and we were in the mood to do some strange and scary things. To be a kid again. We started by exploring the attic, then the cellar, and then someone had the idea to draw a Ouija board on a bit of cardboard. While my sister's friend was in the restroom, we decided to prank her. We prepared a question and a sentence scary enough to freak her out, and she had no idea. When my sister's friend came back from the restroom, we placed a coaster on the self-made Ouija board and everyone put their fingers on it. We agreed that everybody should ask a question in turns, and I was the one who started. I began with a casual question, asking if there was someone with us in the room. I could feel the coaster moving under my fingertips to the yes. I looked up and grinned at my sister, while her friend was excitedly asking the next question. And so it went on. After a few rounds, we got bored, so I asked the question me and my sister had agreed on to just bring a little bit more tension into the game. What can you tell us about the future? For a few minutes, the coaster laid still. Then it started moving and formed the sentence, "The death lurks in room 10. That was the moment when my sister's friend freaked out. We decided to leave it at that. We put the cardboard in the garbage and the coaster back in the drawer and went to watch a movie. Later that night, my sister's friend woke up and started crying. We couldn't calm her down, so her mother had to pick her up in the middle of the night. Our parents asked us what had happened, and we told them about the Ouija board, but we reassured them that the whole thing had just been a prank. Our parents were angry, but they left it at that since my grandma was over for the weekend and they didn't want to wake her up. So we all went back to sleep. The next morning, I was awakened by my mom coming into my room and shaking me. I was barely awake when she told me and my sister that we had to be brave and strong because our grandma had died last night. Apparently, she had a heart attack while we were asleep. The weird thing is that our grandma was sleeping in our guest room, and if you count the exact numbers of room, when you get to that room, it is number 10. The other weird thing was that my sister and I agreed on a different sentence. It was something like, "I'll come and get you." I can't really remember. And when I talked to her after that night, she said she never moved the coaster and thought that I had been moving it around the whole time. But I wasn't. As I said, since that night, things have happened and I'm a bit scared. I've read about people playing around with Ouija boards and inviting ghosts and spirits into their home if they don't properly end the session. Could this have just been a coincidence, or did the Ouija board or whatever was communicating via the Ouija board predict their grandmother's death? Let me know in the comments down below. Thank you for joining me. I hope to see you in a future video. And if you do play with the Ouija board this month, remember to always say goodbye.